Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if it's your first time here. So we are doing another pick a card reading. Well, actually we're doing a pick a symbol reading where basically I will be telling you what your higher self wants you to know. So I'm going to quickly read the definition of the higher self for any of you who don't know. It says your higher self is the highest aspect of you that can be attained and held in the physical body. It is the part of you that knows, sees, and understands things at the highest level possible, while the physical part of you will continue to move around in the third dimension. So basically, to sum that up, your higher self is a part of you that resides on a higher consciousness. See it kind of as that aspect of you that comes forward whenever you quiet your mind. Like if you've ever been in an experience or had an experience where you just are very confused and overwhelmed and you don't have the answer to something, and then the minute you quiet your mind, all of a sudden you figure out the answer, or you have a solution immediately. That is more than likely your higher self giving you that answer through your intuition. And that's why a lot of people say, like, when you're stuck on something, pray about it or meditate on it or just kind of forget about it, sleep on it. And that's because when you quiet your mind, you're able to hear what your higher self is trying to say to you and where your higher self is trying to guide you, usually through your intuition. So sometimes when we are kind of caught up in day-to-day life, it's hard for us to hear our higher selves. It's hard for us to connect with that higher aspects of ourselves. So that's the point of this reading. Basically, whatever your higher self is trying to get through to you that you can't hear, or you're not hearing clearly for some reason, it'll come through in this reading. So just look at the screen, pause the screen for a second, look at the symbols, and pick whichever one you feel the most drawn towards. And like I said in my other pick a card readings, if you're someone who is very anxious when it comes to these types of readings because you don't know which one to pick, that means that your intuition needs to be strengthened. And so the more you watch these types of readings, the better you'll get at following your intuition. So again, just pause the screen and figure out which symbol you're drawn to most. And then I'll leave the timestamps for each symbol in the description box. And if you feel drawn to more than one symbol, then you can go ahead and watch more than one. Okay, so let's get into the reading and let's see what your higher self has been trying to tell you. Okay, group number 1. So you picked the heart symbol. So let's see the messages that your higher self wants you to know. We have the 8 of Swords here and we have the Empress card. So the 8 of Swords card basically talks about you being mentally trapped or mentally stuck. I feel like your thoughts are sometimes your own worst enemy. Your thoughts are basically sabotaging a lot of good opportunities that could be coming your way. And your higher self is wanting you to basically stop sabotaging yourself through your own thoughts. Because sometimes there are opportunities that are coming your way, or you have thoughts and ideas that you don't act on, or you end up destroying because your mind starts to think of every negative possibility that could happen. And when you do that, when you think about every negative thing that could happen or everything that can go wrong, basically what happens is that you end up at times creating what you were trying to avoid. So for example, let's say that you are dating someone and they seem like a very good person, like they seem like a good match, but in your mind you have this thought that human beings can't be trusted and that this person's going to hurt you. So what you do is you put a wall up. You're like, just in case this person abandons me or tries to leave me or hurt me, I'm going to put this wall up so that I don't get too close to them. But then you putting that wall up ends up being the reason that they actually end up leaving. You see what I'm saying? It's like your thoughts and then the actions that you take based off your thoughts are actually ruining your life. And that's what I'm hearing very, very clearly, ruining it. And the way for you to get out of this mental prison with the Empress card being here is that you have to basically be your own mother. Because for some of you, you have these negative, intrusive thoughts because of a lack of nurturing, a lack of care. Like people have mistreated you or they've done things to you and disappointed you. And what you needed in those moments was for someone to care for you and to kind of nurture you, and you didn't get that. So because you never got that care and that nurturing during times when you needed it, it's like you developed a very negative thought pattern or a very negative a very negative inner voice, I should say. And instead of being able to nurture yourself and have positive thoughts, it's like your mind is stuck on like this negative loop of everything that can go wrong. And so you're needing to basically give yourself that maternal energy that you needed every time people have, let you down or disappointed you. Because I feel like this negative thought pattern is a result of being disappointed. It is a result of things just not going right in your life, especially during times where you may have been excited about something or got your hopes up and then it got snatched from you. It's like your brain is now trying to protect you by looking at the negative beforehand. Like, I'm just going to brace myself for it beforehand. And then, like I said, it ends up like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You end up destroying a lot of good things in your life or destroying yourself. And so you're needing to be that maternal nurturing energy that you needed during those times where you were hurt or disappointed. I'm going to pull one more card. And I know that people talk about, self-love and self-care, and it can be kind of confusing because everybody has like their own definitions of it, or actually a lot of the times there's no clear definition of it. People tell you to love yourself, but they don't really tell you how, and that's because there's different ways to do so. And in this case, this is talking about self-love within your own thought patterns. So trying to plant loving, nurturing thoughts into your mind to substitute the negative ones that have been implanted in there. Pull one more. So whenever you feel yourself having a negative thought, there's a need for you to say, stop, pause, and try to basically switch it to the positive. Like, when you start listing everything that could go wrong, stop yourself, become aware, and then start listing everything that can go right. There's definitely a need for you to plant a lot of positive seeds into your mind. Because again, your thoughts are going to lead to actions. And so it's not the thoughts that are necessarily ruining you. It's your inability to control the thoughts and then the actions that you take based off the negative thoughts. So planting a lot of positive, fulfilling, uplifting thoughts in your mind will help to kind of replace those negative thoughts. And the way that I do this personally, I do this like during the day, like doing positive affirmations, looking in the mirror, and saying positive affirmations and things of that sort. But I also do this while I'm sleeping. So I'll record a lot of positive affirmations and then I will basically play them on a loop when I'm sleeping. And it definitely works. Let me pull one more just to get more clear on this message. And this is not something that's going to happen overnight. You have to look, basically your higher self is saying that you have to look at this as you rebirthing yourself. So it takes a baby 9 months, in the mother's womb to be ready to be birthed. And so you're needing to have patience with yourself in that way. It's not going to happen overnight because these negative thoughts and these intrusive thought patterns did not develop in your mind overnight. So, developing the positive aspect or the positive side of it is not going to develop overnight is what I'm seeing. Something that will block you from this process is the King of Pentacles energy and the Rebirth card in reverse. So basically the King of Pentacles energy is like the very, this very selfish sort of energy that you could have encountered in your past. And that is something that will be a blockage for you in terms of rebirthing yourself. So I'm not saying that these selfish people or these people who weren't there for you, I'm not saying they're in your life right now. They could be, but even if they're gone, their voices are still in your head. This King of Pentacles, it's like long after this energy has left your life, like whoever this person is or these people are, their voices are still in your head. So it's not you that's harshly criticizing yourself. It's these people's voices and you internalizing things that they've said and done that's causing you to have these thoughts. And so as you rebirth yourself, you have to keep in mind that these are not your own thoughts or your own negative thoughts. They have been planted there by, someone else or how someone else has treated you. Let me pull one more. I'm also hearing that your higher self is saying that if you want happiness, then you have to really pay attention to people who are not on your level in terms of your healing process. And I'm not saying on your level as an egotistical thing. I'm saying if you are someone who is dedicated to self-improvement and to making your life better, it's going to be very, very difficult to merge and create a life with someone who is stuck and who is not taking the same steps towards self-improvement. So for those of you who are in some sort of connection and you are wanting to improve, you're wanting to grow, and you're wanting to expand as a person, and that other person is stuck in their ways and kind of refusing to rebirth themselves, well, you're on two different frequencies with that person. Let's say that. You're on a different frequency as them, and you have to really ask yourself if you can actually manifest happiness with someone who is not dedicated to self-improvement. And this doesn't have to be romantic. This could very well be friends, family, maybe a job that you feel like there's no growth there. But whatever it is, anything that's not growing, it's not in alignment with you because of the rate that you are growing and the rate that you are expanding. And so there's a need for you to keep that in mind, because I see for a lot of you, the Ten of Cups is here and the Ten of Pentacles. So your higher self wants you to know that there's a lot of abundance that's coming towards you. The Ten of Cups talks about emotional abundance, like the happy home life, the family. Then the Ten of Pentacles is like financial abundance, like building generational wealth, being well off financially. So you have both of those cards in one reading. And those things are coming to you because of your desire to become a better person and to expand and to change those negative thought patterns that you have. But if there's other people around you who are not expanding and who are not willing to do the work to rebirth themselves, then it's going to be difficult to create that with them. And you're always going to be on a different frequency as those people. So you're just not going to mesh well. So that's why a lot of conflict may be taking place. Like if you find yourself being very conflicted with a certain person or a certain situation, it very well could be because, like I said, you're on two different levels. You're on two different frequencies. Look at it as like when you're in a car listening to a radio and you turn on one station, and then when you turn the dial to another station, right when you're in between the stations, you hear that static, and that's because it's two different stations at once, two different frequencies at once. That's why you hear that static. So I feel like there is static between you and a certain person or certain people because, like I said, you are on this road of expansion and they are afraid to face themselves, and so therefore they are not growing at the rate that you are growing, is what I'm seeing. Then with the Control card being here and the Transformation card, the Control card in reverse basically talks about your need, or you feeling the need to be in control at all times, and your higher self wants you to know that sometimes that also basically sabotages you, that at times there are going to be things that are outside of your control, and you're needing to recognize that. You're needing to recognize the things that are out of your control, and you're needing to learn to let them go, and transform the things that you can control. And most of the things that you can control are things within you. So this could also be saying, like, stop trying to control your external environment and instead focus on controlling your internal environment. See what I'm saying? Because when you change your internal, when you change the way you view yourself and the way you feel about yourself, you'll notice a drastic change in your life. So if you've been trying very hard to change your external, like you've been trying to force things to happen in like outside of you, it's basically saying focus on changing things inside of you, and you're going to see a drastic transformation, is what I'm seeing. And with the Gift card being here in the reverse, this transformation will bring in everything that you wanted. And it's going to be kind of shocking to you because you thought that to get what you wanted, you had to, like I said, force things outside of you. But now it's like you're going to see, like, doing that internal work and rebirthing yourself internally, things are just going to start to rapidly change in your external environment. And it's going to be kind of like shocking to you because I feel like you thought the only way to get what you wanted is by, like I said, forcing the external. So with the Thoughts card being here, the Imprisonment card, and the Laziness card in the reverse, basically this is saying that your thoughts, like I said in the beginning of this reading, your thoughts are somewhat like imprisoning you. Like you feel imprisoned and trapped in your thoughts, and this is not going to be something that's easy to change. But again, it's going to be worth the work to change. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to be worth it because your thoughts imprisoning you is really keeping you very stuck. Because I'm seeing here with the Thoughts card that some of you have a lot of goals, or you have a lot of like creative ideas. It's like when your mind is full of fear, doubt, and negativity, you can't hear the positive aspects of life that are available to you that your intuition is trying to tell you. There could be something right now that can make you extremely happy that your intuition wants to tell you to go towards, but you can't hear your intuition because your thoughts are so weighed down by these negative repeating patterns in your mind. And so that's why it's going to be very important to restructure your mind, because if not, you won't be able to hear the positive things that your intuition is trying to push you towards. And again, this is not something that's going to be easy. It's something that you're going to have to be alert. You're going to have to notice when your thoughts are extremely negative, and you're going to have to take the opportunity to shift them into more positive thoughts. That's what I'm seeing. Let me pull one more. Your higher self also wants you to know, I feel like this message is more specific. For some of you, your higher self wants you to know that something in your life was dismantled. The Four of Wands here in the reverse, this is like a happy home being broken up, or something that you felt very connected to being separated or broken up. And your higher self wants you to know that it was crucial for that separation to take place, or for you parting with whatever that was. It was crucial for that to take place because you needed to be enlightened. Through that separation, or through the breakdown of whatever that home situation was, or whatever that connection was, that's what basically led you on a path of becoming more self-aware and becoming more spiritually enlightened, with the Hangman card being here. And for some of you, you may be stuck in that situation or on that situation because you thought that it was going to bring you a lot of abundance, or it made you feel very abundant at one point. But your higher self wants you to know that there was no abundance in that situation. There was nothing that you could have grasped from that situation any longer. Like, there's nothing that could have been built from that situation. If anything, if you did not separate from that situation, all of your blessings or all of your good fortune would have been stripped from you. Because whatever that situation was, it wasn't for your highest good, and it wasn't in alignment. So if you would have been there any longer than what you were, like I said, it would have ended tragically. And a lot more, if you think you lost a lot through that situation, you would have lost a lot more, is what your higher self is wanting you to know. I know that's like a random specific message. Yeah, marriage in the reverse. This doesn't have to be romantic, but it very well could be, because the marriage card is there. But it's almost like I said, something that you felt very connected to, that your higher self wants you to know that there would have been disaster that would have come from that situation, but you just couldn't see it and you didn't know it. And so you feel like you lost a lot. You would have lost a lot more. You would have lost a lot more. And your higher self wants you to know that everything that you want and everything you desire, it is going to come to you, because it is your birthright to have everything in your heart that you desire that is positive. And for some of you, that could make you feel uncomfortable to hear that. Like, hearing it's your right, it's your birthright, you deserve everything that you want. That could cause you to feel a little bit anxious, because your mind right now is wired towards the negative. It may be wired towards like, well, do I deserve it? Because, it's like, do I deserve it? I didn't work for it. Or I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this. It's like for example, romance. Let's say that your higher self is trying to tell you you deserve a loving, caring partner, but there's a part of you that's like, no, I don't, because I'm broken, or like because I'm damaged, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But your higher self is wanting to tell you that you deserve it regardless. You deserve all great things regardless. The only reason that you need to focus on your healing is not so you can be deserving, because you're deserving of it now. The only reason you're being asked to focus on your healing is so that you can know you're deserving of it, so that when it comes, you don't sabotage it. You see what I'm saying? It's not that you aren't deserving now, it's that you don't know you're deserving now. And so your higher self is wanting you to heal, not from a space of, oh, you need to heal because you're not worthy of this yet, or you haven't worked for it yet, but more so you need to heal because you don't know that you're worthy of it. And when you don't know that you're worthy of something, then it will inevitably become sabotaged and it will break down, is what I am seeing. So to wrap this up, the King of Cups is here and the Three of Pentacles. To wrap this up, basically your higher self is wanting you to collaborate, with the Three of Pentacles being here, with people who are on your frequency, with people who have the ability to give what you give, with people who have the same vision, with people who are leveling up in the same way that you are. Because if not, there will always be static between you and these people, like, or this person and these connections, and your negative thought patterns will persist because of the amount of static. You will question yourself a lot if you try to force things in your external. You will question if maybe you're asking for too much, or if you're in the wrong when you're not. But when you work on the internal and you change the internal, you'll start to see this external, like anything in the external that doesn't resonate with you and that has been keeping you stuck, you'll start to basically move away from it naturally, is what I'm seeing. And this goes for those of you who could be in a situation that is toxic or that is negative, and you've been trying to force things, but it's difficult. Basically, your higher self is saying that when you do the internal work, any person that's not on your frequency, or any situation that's not on your frequency, it'll start to fall away smoothly, is what I'm seeing. Or that person or those people would have to rise to the occasion and level up right along with you so that things can be smooth. So yeah, for the most part, I'm seeing your higher self wants you to do the internal work, and you'll be very surprised at how drastic your external environment is going to change, the type of people who you'll start to attract into your life, and just the peace of mind that you will manifest as a result of doing that internal work. So that is it, pile number 1. I really hope that was helpful. And if you feel drawn towards any other symbol, feel free to pick those. And if not, I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 2. So let's see the messages that your higher self wants you to know. Alright, so I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles here and also the 10 of Wands. Alright, so the feeling that I get from these 2 cards is that some of you are about to be granted an opportunity, or you have been granted an opportunity, and you are now needing to take that opportunity and run with it. Basically, the Ace of Pentacles, it's like God or the universe kind of handing you a gift that's going to start something for you. It's like the gift isn't handed to you, like in terms of the full package. It's like the starter is handed to you, and you have to then take it and build the full package. So, for example, or like just to give you a visual, it's like the universe handing you a seed, like here you go, and then you have to plant it and you have to water it and, you know, nurture it in order for the seed to sprout. So the universe is giving you the seed, and you are needing to put in the work to allow that seed to grow and for it to sprout, is what I'm seeing. I'm going to pull one more. Let's see. Transformation. Okay, some of you are afraid to take this opportunity. Some of you are afraid to take this, whatever this gift is that the universe is giving you, because in order for you to plant that seed and to water it, it's going to require you to transform, and you're not sure if you are ready. You're not sure if you can rise up to the occasion. You're not sure if you have what it takes. So just to give another example, just to illustrate my point, let's say that you are at a job, right? And you are offered a promotion. But with the promotion comes a lot more responsibility than your current position. So you know that it's a blessing because this promotion will give you a lot more money. But you know that now you have to, there's a transformation that needs to take place. Like maybe you need to be more responsible. Maybe it's going to require for you to work more hours. Maybe it's going to require for you to take on a leadership position. And you're aware that with this gift, if you decide to allow it to flourish, you are aware that you're going to have to transform. And for some of you, it's like you are afraid of transforming. You feel like you can't rise to the occasion. But your higher self is wanting you to know that even if you feel like you are not good enough for this opportunity, or that you can't, what's the word? Let's see, like what I'm hearing. It's like your higher self wants you to know that even if you feel like you can't rise to the occasion, you can. Because if you couldn't, then the universe would not have given you this blessing or given you this opportunity. So don't be afraid to transform. And I'm also hearing that for a lot of you, this opportunity is given to you specifically so that you can transform, so that you can become the better version of yourself. Another example would be, let's relate it to love, because that's a lot of people can relate. to relationships and things of that sort. Those are the things that tend to transform us on the deepest level. So let's say that there's a new relationship that's coming your way, and you want a healthy relationship, right? But you've maybe been in toxic ones for so long that maybe you have toxic patterns. And this new relationship, you want it to be healthy, so you have to change your ways. Like, you have to change your way of being, like, within relationships. And so you're kind of afraid that you won't be able to rise to the occasion. Like, you're afraid that this relationship is going to fall apart just like your other ones, because you know you have to show up differently than how you've shown up in the past. You see what I'm saying? But the universe, again, is saying that if you were not ready for this opportunity or ready for this new love, it would not be coming your way. So what you need to do is to do the work. See this as a blessing and an opportunity and do the work. Some of you are feeling like whatever this blessing is or this opportunity is, it's something that you are not deserving of, but you definitely are. Because again, if you didn't deserve it, it would not come to you. Let me pull one more. Your higher self is wanting you to become who you truly are. And there's a lot of things that have been weighing you down in life that have been stopping you from becoming like who you truly are, or stopping you from becoming the best version of yourself. So whatever this opportunity is, yes, it's going to require a transformation, but it's only because your higher self wants you healed and wants you to go through that transformation. That's why this opportunity is being given to you, to help you to transform. So going back to the example about the job promotion, your higher self would want you to be more responsible. Your higher self wants you to take more pride in your work. And that's why this promotion is being offered to you in the first place. Like, your higher self is kind of pushing you to become the better version of yourself, is what I'm seeing. And you have the ability to, like I said, master this. So you don't need to doubt yourself. Even when you do doubt yourself, push through it and take the opportunity and grow it anyway. That's what I'm seeing. With the celebration card being here in the reverse, for a lot of you, your higher self is also telling you that your connections to people is going to be very crucial in whatever this opportunity is or this next stage of your life. Your connections are very crucial. So you have to be very mindful of the company that you keep. And I think that that's going to be a part of this transformation. Let me pull one more to get more specific. Okay, so in reference to what I said about being mindful of the company you keep and your connections, I'm seeing here with the celebration card that some of you could have connections or be connected to people who, yes, you have fun with them. Yes, like you've had good times with them. But as you step into this new cycle in your life, or you're transforming, it's like you're going to have to kind of shift your relationship with these people. I'm not saying you have to cut them off. For some of you, you do have to cut them off, and you already know that. But for a lot of you, it's not cutting them off. It's like kind of shifting the way that you relate to them, because there's going to be new people entering your life that are going to be more, it's like you're going to relate to them more. You will connect to them on a deeper level. So for example, if you are, like I said before about the toxic patterns, if you are ready to now start having a healthy relationship, then naturally dating people who, you know, maybe you enjoy yourself, like maybe you enjoy being around them, but you know that the relationship is toxic, or you know that the connection is like very stifling to you. It's like you're needing to kind of distance yourself from those types of things if you want to bring in the right type of people. Because it's like this transformation, it's not only happening inside of you, it's going to happen externally too. So when you take this opportunity and you water that seed and it starts to grow, a lot of people who are on a higher vibration will start to come into your life, and you're needing to make room for those people, is what I'm seeing. Let me see. I really hope that this is making sense. I feel like for a lot of you, this is like a career opportunity or a job opportunity. It's something along those lines. Like I'm getting like big break energy. Like some of you are about to get your big break. And so of course you need to be, I don't know if you know who the rapper Rico Nasty is. Why is she coming through in this reading? Strange. It could be that, why is she coming through in this pile? It could be that her career, the way that her career took on, maybe some of you are Rico Nasty fans. I know I am. But it's like maybe it's needing to see her as an example, because God handed her an opportunity and she took it and ran with it. She didn't hesitate. Like I believe like her big break came when the rapper, what's his name, Lil Yachty, he got on her remix to one of her earlier songs, and that's when she really started to take off. And she's been going ever since. Like, she took that seed that God gave her, she planted it, and she watered it, and she just ran with it. And that's what some of you are needing to do. You can't allow your doubts or your fears to hold you back, and you can't allow certain people and the way that you relate to certain people and the certain cycles that you've been in with certain people to hold you back, because there's new opportunities and new people that are going to be coming your way, and the last thing you need is to be held back. Hold on more. Lover's card. Journey in the reverse. Yeah, okay, this is very serious right now. You cannot allow your emotions for certain people or a certain person to delay this journey that you're about to go on, to block this blessing that you're about to get. I'm telling you, just be very careful about who you are relating to or who you are associating with, because certain people have the ability to really block whatever this opportunity is that you are being given. It'll be hard to grow this opportunity with certain people in your corner or certain people around you. I really hope I keep on trying to give examples just so you can understand what I'm saying. It's like when you're granted an opportunity and it's like things are about to take off, certain people around you will either drain you or discourage you or sabotage you in some way. And so you need to be very mindful of the company you keep when you get a good opportunity, because it's almost like like spiritual warfare, like certain people coming into your life or certain people who are already in your life and trying to destroy what you're about to build, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, them trying to destroy it or them trying to block it. And that's usually what happens. What they say, different levels, different devils. Like when you're about to elevate, people just start acting a damn fool. And you have more to lose. And so you need to be very careful who you associate with. Very, very careful. So the sharing card is here in the reverse, and the consciousness card. Keep your blessings to yourself. Like your higher self wants you to know to keep your blessings to yourself, or keep your ideas and your plans to yourself. Because whatever you're about to get, whatever opportunity you're about to be granted, that you're about to water and grow, is something that is meant for you. And I feel like it's going to be very fulfilling for you on a spiritual level. Like not just in the material world, but spiritually, it's going to be very fulfilling to you. It's almost like it's a part of your spiritual path. And you'd be very shocked that when you are rewarded like something on your spiritual path, you'll be shocked at how people will go out of their way to send you negative energy. So be very careful of who you associate with and who you share your news with. If you're building something, it might be best to keep it quiet until it's actually built, is what your higher self wants you to know. Also, you need to preserve your energy with the sharing card being here. Some of you are very generous, not only with like money, but with your time, with your energy, with your love. Be careful of that as well. Whatever this is that you're being granted, it's something that requires a lot of energy, and you're needing to preserve your energy and put it into watering that seed in order for it to grow, is what I'm seeing. With the thief card being here in reverse and mature man card. This is like a repeat message, using discernment, using whatever wisdom you've obtained over the years about people and about their ways, using that wisdom to weed out who you need to keep in your life and who you need to keep at a distance. Because I'm telling you, for some of you, this is something major that's on your path that's going to drastically change your life. And the reason that your higher self wants you to know that the reason that a lot of people in your past have snaked you or betrayed you and things like that is so that you can know what to look out for, and you can look out for the red flags. Because as you elevate, wherever some of you are going, this is something major for a lot of you. Whatever you're about to elevate into, you just have to be very careful about who you let into, because you'll have more to lose. You see? So think about the fact that, over the years, maybe you've been snaked, you've been betrayed, or things of that sort. For some of you, I'm hearing that people have stolen from you. Your higher self wants you to know that those people did all those things. They served a purpose in order to show you what you need to avoid. Because back then, maybe you didn't have much to lose. You took some L's, but it was like, okay, I could just pick myself back up. This energy, it's like you'll have a lot to lose. For some of you, all right, example, for some of you, maybe you're about to get your big break. Maybe you're an artist and you're about to get signed, or your work is about to blow up on social media. before, if you had snakes around you, yes, like it'll hurt to find out they betrayed you. But imagine how it would feel to have snakes around you when you're experiencing success and they do something to sabotage what you work for. Far worse, right? When you have more to lose, you need to have better discernment about the people who you let around you and about who you give your energy to, who you react to, who you respond to, because now you have more to lose. So think about over the years, any type of betrayal that you've experienced or anything like that, and take those lessons. Like, what red flag did you ignore in those people, or what type of people were they, and how can you avoid those types of people in the future? And also, those types of people let you know what you do want, because when you get to this level that you're going to, you want good people around you. And so those past people, they serve as basically a compass to, okay, that's the opposite of what I want. Because sometimes we don't know what we want fully until we experience the opposite. So if you've been amongst people who were extremely disloyal, you now value loyalty. And so as you move on to this next level of your life, you are going to seek out those who are loyal. You're going to cherish and not take for granted those who are loyal. So these past people who've done terrible things to you, betrayed you and things of that sort, they served two purposes. They served to show you how or what to look out for in the future, like what to avoid in the future. But they also serve to tell you now what it is that you want and what it is that you need. And it shows you also to not take those good things that you see in people for granted. All right, last messages. So we have the comparison card here. We have the guilt card. So your higher self wants you to know that comparisons are also going to be something that will kill your positive mindset. If you're trying to keep a positive mind and trying to take this opportunity and build on it, this opportunity that you're being granted, then comparison is one thing that is going to basically kill that process for you. Because if you are comparing yourself to other people, it's almost like it'll make you lose your momentum. Like you're like, okay, this person already has gotten to that level and I haven't. What am I doing wrong? Or maybe you just feel like someone else's work or their life or something like that, it looks better than yours from the outside looking in. Again, this is just something that's going to kill your momentum. It's going to kill your energy. It's going to kill your drive. And so you're needing to avoid that, or try your best to avoid it and to focus on your own strengths instead of looking at other people's stories. Because if other people haven't been through the exact same things you've been through, lived your life, have your parents, have the same school you went to, like basically someone would have to have lived your exact life in order for there to be a valid comparison. And if they haven't, then it's not a valid comparison. Even if someone went through your exact experience, but it was just a little different, still not a valid experience, because they would have to go through your exact situation for you to be able to compare yourself accurately. And because only you have been through your situation, you can't compare yourself. Well, you can, but then it'll just end up draining you and depleting you, is what I'm seeing. So, yeah, there's a need for you to be careful or mindful of comparison. But then also with the guilt card being here, there is something about forgiveness. There's something about needing to forgive yourself for times in the past where maybe you did not have the highest self-esteem. Maybe you didn't love yourself as much, or you didn't value yourself as much. And so, you settled for certain things, or you put up with certain things. And your higher self is wanting you to forgive yourself as well. Because whatever level you're about to reach or whatever you're about to do that is going to cause you to level up, you're going to need to be your own best friend. You're going to need to be your biggest cheerleader. And so the last thing you want is to continuously beat yourself down or guilt trip yourself about things in the past that you just didn't know. Like there's certain decisions that you made when you were empty and when your self-esteem was, like I said, not at its highest, and you're needing to give yourself compassion and you're needing to forgive yourself for those times. Because the last thing that you want or need is to be beating yourself down when you are trying to build and capitalize off of this opportunity that is being brought to you. Okay, pile 2, I hope that was helpful. If you feel drawn towards any other symbol, feel free to watch those as well. And if not, I will see you in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 3. So let's see what your higher self wants you to know. We're starting with the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles. So I'm feeling like your higher self is wanting you to be a bit more independent. The Nine of Pentacles card is basically like being very self-sufficient and feeling good about it. Like basically having a happy, fulfilling life on your own. And that's not to say that you have to be alone or you have to be in seclusion, but it's like you have built this life for yourself that is so satisfying that when you bring other people into it, it's like they're adding on to your happiness, but they're not your happiness, because you already have your happiness. You already have, all these good things going for yourself. So the people in your life, it's kind of like, they're just a bonus for you, and they're able to add happiness to your life. But your happiness is not wrapped up around them. Your self-esteem is not wrapped up in them, so that if they do turn on you, or if they do leave you in some way, it's like they can't break you, because you are, like I said, happy and abundant, on your own. And also, when you are happy and abundant like this, and independent, you'll be surprised that you will be drawn more towards healthy connections and friendships and things of that sort, because you'll be choosing from a place of having a choice. Like when we don't feel independent, or we're living in kind of like codependent energy, we kind of feel like we don't have a choice of letting certain people into our lives, because we feel like this attachment to them. And so it kind of takes our choices away. It takes our freedom away. Because at times there could be people who are not good for us that we're still holding on to, because we don't have that sense of happiness within our own lives. Like they fill a void. So basically, your higher self is wanting you to, like I said, create this independent, happy life for yourself, and find a way to fill that void in without having to depend on other people to do so. Because the Queen of Cups is here in the reverse, and that is the card of codependency. So some of you could struggle with codependency, and your higher self is basically telling you that becoming independent is going to really shift your life and cause you to have better connections and just an overall better sense of well-being. So let's pull one more. I'm hearing for some of you that when you see people who seem to quote-unquote have it all together, the reason that you are so in awe of those people, or you admire those people, is because you have the ability to live just like them. Like maybe if you see, and I'm not talking about like a perfect, picture perfect life. I'm talking about like maybe people who you see like on YouTube, not the ones that are like, they have like this luxury lifestyle. I mean like the ones that maybe they just seem very content, and maybe they seem very happy in their own skin, and then their life seems fulfilling. It's like you could be in awe of those types of people. You could admire those types of people, because your higher self is basically saying that is basically an indicator of which direction you're supposed to be going in. That's why you admire those people, because you're meant to head on that path of being happy within yourself and creating a happy life for yourself. Pull one more. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, so the Wheel of Fortune card talks about things that are destined for you, like certain blessings that are destined to come to you, and they are kind of being put on hold as of now, because of there's still some codependent energy that you're needing to resolve. They're still like looking for happiness or seeking happiness in other people, or your self-esteem being wrapped up or relied on or you rely on other people to build you up, or like to maintain your sense of self-worth, if that makes sense. And so it's like there's a codependent energy here that is needing a bit of healing, because there are blessings that are trying to come your way that are destined for you, but it's like they're kind of being blocked by codependent energy is what I'm seeing. Pull one more. Okay, example. Again, I'm going to relate this to love, because that's usually what a lot of people can relate to. Example, you had a very strong codependent tie to your ex. You still have a very hard time letting that ex go. It's not like, okay, I'm just not over the ex yet, because sometimes we need time. But when you have a codependent attachment, it's way deeper. And I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you have a codependent attachment to an ex and they're no longer around, it's just way deeper, and it's way more difficult to get over. And basically it's saying that the codependent energy needs to be healed in order for this new blessing to come in. So the blessing could be like a new healthy relationship, but first that codependent attachment to the ex has to be broken. See? I hope that's a good example. Pull one more for that. Okay, so this is good news. So the Moon card being here lets me know that you are aware of this. Like this isn't something that's buried in your subconscious. It looks like for a while it was buried in your subconscious. You didn't recognize or realize that you had any sort of codependent energy. The way that you connected to people, you just kind of, it was your normal. So you didn't really understand codependency and things of that sort. So, but now it's like it's not hidden from you anymore. Like you've had the realization about it. Maybe you've read about it, come across articles, videos about it. You now understand the way that you've been showing up in relationships and the reason that you've been clinging or attaching on to certain people. So this is a good thing. Your higher self wants you to commend you for discovering or becoming self-aware when it comes to this. And now all that's left is to do the work to kind of move yourself away from that codependent energy. Just knowing about it isn't enough. You have to actually take the steps to correct it or to heal it. And that's going to start with building a happy, healthy life for yourself, is what I'm seeing. So again, I can see that as a good thing because the moon card in reverse, nothing is hidden, everything's out on the table. It can be like a painful truth at first, certain things about ourselves that we don't want to see, but eventually we are, thankful for the truth because then we can actually do what is required of us to fix whatever is going on in our lives. Because with the Magician card being here in the reverse, that's like manifesting from an unhealthy place. So when we have subconscious patterns that we're not aware of, we manifest from those patterns. And that's why it's important to become aware of those patterns because we'll keep manifesting bullshit into our lives. So if you were struggling with codependency, you could have kept manifesting codependent relationships over and over because that's what was planted in your subconscious. But now that you are aware of it, now that has come to the surface, now it's like there's this drastic shift that is taking place, and you are now being asked by your higher self to again create a life for yourself that you would be proud of, that has nothing to do with someone else. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to be alone. It just means to build up a happy, healthy life for yourself. You know who this is reminding me of? This is reminding me of Jeannie Mai. I'm going to leave a link to her YouTube channel in the description box, a specific video called How I Found Love Again. This reminds me of her, of that video where she said that after her divorce, she just felt dizzy. Like she felt like, where the hell am I? Because she had wrapped up her whole identity in being a wife. And so when she was divorced, it's like she had to find herself again. I'll link it in the description box down below. But that's exactly the kind of energy that I am feeling for a lot of you. So with the breakthrough card being here and then the aloneness card being here, excuse me. The breakthrough card lets me know that you are very, very close to breaking out of this pattern that you've been in or breaking out of this cycle that you've been in. You're very close, and for some of you, you know that you are close to it, but you still have to keep on pushing forward. Like for a lot of you, you've been doing the work, or you're at least aware of the work that needs to be done. So it's like you're about to have a breakthrough. It might feel like as of right now you're stuck on a certain level that you're trying your hardest to get out of, or you feel like you're stuck in like a certain box and you're like this close to breaking out of it. So your higher self wants you to know to keep on going and don't give up because you are very, very close to having a breakthrough. Pull one more. Yeah, the soul searching that you've been doing, the researching and things of that sort, that was a very important, like I said, that was very important for you because to change, you have to become self-aware first. But your higher self is wanting you to know that it's time to start putting into action the things that you have researched or the things that you have discovered about yourself. And that's when you're going to have your breakthrough. Because some of you are spending a lot of time just pondering. You're spending a lot of time like, okay, well, maybe I act this way because of this in my past. And then you'll read an article about it, then you watch a video about it. And that's a good thing to become self-aware in that way. But your higher self wants you to know that you still have to put the work in. It's not enough to just do research. Like, don't get caught up in reading about it, studying it to the point where now it's a distraction from your own life. Like sometimes we want to level up, so we research how to level up, and we almost become like stuck in the research phase because the research phase feels so much safer than the actually doing the work. But your higher self wants you to know you've done enough research, you've obtained enough knowledge to start doing the work. Of course, you still want to learn about yourself. You never want to stop doing that, but not if you're trading doing the work for just researching the work. You need to be doing both at the same time, and you're going to have a breakthrough once you take heed to that, or once you actually start taking the steps towards doing, what you've researched. Yep, transformation card came out. Just a repeat. Yep, transformation card. Just a repeat message about you about to have a breakthrough, and you about to have a major transformative cycle in your life, or you've already gone through something that has pushed you to transform, and now you're just this close to having a breakthrough. The outsider card here lets me know that some of you are struggling with abandonment issues or feeling abandoned, and so that may be your main focus, or that may be the main wound that you need to heal in terms of having codependent attachments to people. And you don't have to just have a codependent attachment to a person. It could be to anything. It could be anything that you are attached to because you feel like it makes you somebody, or it like you're nothing without it, or there's like a void without it. Then that's a codependent energy, like those things that you can't live without. Like some people are codependently attached to their jobs, their money, their image. Nothing wrong with desiring those things and being proud of those things, but some people are codependently attached to it, meaning like if that thing left, their whole sense of self-worth would crumble. They don't know who they are outside of it. So that's what I mean by codependency. Let's see. Okay, we have the community card here and the occupation card. All right. So I'm hearing a quote that I've heard people use in terms of addiction. Like the opposite of addiction is community, because sometimes it's very hard to break out of certain patterns without having a good support system. So if you have been struggling with abandonment wounds and codependency and things of that sort, yes, you're being asked by your higher self to find your independence, find your self-love, but there also is a need for you to connect with people, because a lot of the times when we're on a self-love journey or a self-care, self-healing journey, we think of it as a solo journey. We think of it as us being in isolation and doing positive affirmations, but a large part of self-care is understanding and knowing. A large part of self-love and self-care is understanding and knowing that, there are certain needs that we have as human beings that are connected to other people. Like we have a need for companionship. We have a need for acceptance. And there's nothing wrong with having those needs. Where it goes wrong is when we need it from the wrong type of people, the wrong type of persons who, or the wrong type of person who would take advantage of the fact that you have those needs. But those needs are there. Like you're needing to connect with, positive people who value you, people who respect you, people who understand you. It's actually going to help your journey come along much more smoothly, is what I'm seeing. Because these are like heavy, wounds and scars. And so carrying all that burden on your own is just too much. And so you have to remember, while you're in the process of building this independence, in the process of creating this life for yourself that you could be, proud of, you still need a support system around you. You still need some sort of support, but it's like you have to find the right type of support. That's why a lot of people are, they join online forums, or they join certain Facebook groups, or, even in my comment section on YouTube, people uplift and support each other. Like that would be considered community as well. And so you're needing to remember that, is what I'm saying. You need to remember, your higher self wants you to know that this is not a journey that you have to necessarily take on your own. This is not a journey that you have to feel like, oh, I don't need anyone, I can do this all on my own. Because that would be the opposite of progress, is what I'm seeing. Oh, also another side message that's a bit specific. Your higher self wants you to know that you also need to find groups of people or friends that you can just have fun with. Because for some of you, you may have, communities in terms of maybe online, you are on forums that deal specifically with past trauma, or you have friends that you relate to specifically because of the hurt that you've been through and things of that sort. Your higher self wants you to also make groups of friends who you relate to them only on a superficial fun basis. I really hope that makes sense. I know that message is super random, but I feel like it ties into your healing work or your healing process, because some of you, you're going to take this healing work very, very seriously. And again, sometimes we can get caught up in our healing work to the point where we only even relate to people who are doing healing work themselves. And sometimes that can be a bit exhausting. So you are needing to find people who you can relate to just on a superficial fun level. There's nothing wrong with having superficial acquaintances that help you to kind of escape the heavy feeling of recovery. You see what I'm saying? And if it's not like a whole new group of friends or separate group of friends, it could be talking about your current group, like maybe just doing more fun things and not being so weighed down or things being so heavy. Like, it's possible that for some of you, every time you talk to people in your circle, or you talk to people you relate to, it's always about some sort of trauma, or it's always about some sort of pain, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we need people to vent to, and we need to express those things. But there's times where your higher self is wanting you to know that it's okay to just do things that are fun and surface level. Your whole life doesn't have to evolve around doing, this deep healing work. Last two cards out are the politics cards and the laziness card. So your higher self, just to wrap this up, your higher self wants you to make sure that you're taking your healing work seriously, but that you take time to relax. Like, your whole life should not revolve around it, is what I'm saying. Like, that shouldn't be your whole identity. Like, I'm someone who struggles with codependency, or I'm someone who has been, who's had bad things happen, and I'm on a healing journey. Like, your higher self is saying that can't be your whole identity. It puts like a very dark cloud over your life, and that in the process of rebuilding yourself, you still need to have fun. You still need to have like lighthearted moments. It doesn't have to be like this serious weighed down thing all the time, is what I'm seeing. And also, just be very careful about who you're connecting with, because I feel like a lot of you, the community that I'm seeing you're connecting with, it could possibly be online. Just be careful, because there are, frauds, snakes online who want to take advantage. So just be very mindful. Just be very mindful of that. Make sure that whoever you're connecting to, make sure they're legit. Just be careful. Make sure you're not connected with someone who is going to try to play off of the problems that you have. So that's what I'm seeing here. Your higher self wants you to know that your life, you have not seen the best of it yet. With the experiencing card being here and the integration card, the more you start to build yourself and build that self-love and heal those codependent patterns and those rejection wounds, the more fun life is going to become for you with the experiencing card. So your higher self wants you to know to not give up and to not think that things will always be like this. Like, there is a very positive aspect of your life that is going to come into fruition as you do this work to heal. Okay, so that is it. Really hope that this was helpful. If you feel drawn towards any other pile, feel free to watch that as well. And if not, I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 4. So let's see what your higher self wants you to know. We have the Knight of Wands here, and we have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. All right, so what I'm getting from these cards is that your higher self wants you to slow down some. For some of you, but you've been on the move, or you've been on the go a lot. Like, there's something very hasty and rapid about this energy that I'm picking up, and your higher self is basically wanting you to slow down. I'm going to pull one more, just get more specific about that. Because I'm picking up different messages for different people. For some of you, this is your higher self saying that you are rushing, like you are in a rush to get somewhere, and you're needing to slow down. Hold on a second. Or it could be that your body is needing a rest, or your body is needing a break, because I can read this Knight of Wands as like anxiety, worry, overworking, and things of that sort. And your guides are telling you that you need a break, or your higher self is telling you that you need a break, or you need some sort of rest. Let me pull one more. Five of Swords. Death card. Oh, okay. This is making a lot more sense. So, some of you, there's something going on within you that is disturbing your peace, and instead of facing it, you're running from it. I'm seeing that very clearly. There's 2 horses here. You're running from it. Because it's almost like you feel like if you connect to whatever it is inside of you that is causing you this disharmony, you feel like it's going to overpower you. You could feel like there's this strong, it's like this strong emotion or this strong feeling that you're really not trying to experience. You're trying to rush right past it. It's kind of like when you get out of a relationship and your heart's broken, and you're so heartbroken to the point where you just want to jump into a new one, because you don't want to think about what you experience. You don't want to think about the pain, so you want to jump into like a rebound. That's the type of energy that I'm feeling. It's kind of like there's just something in you that is very disturbing to you. It has disrupted your mind. It's disrupted your peace, and your higher self is basically telling you that you may need to face it instead of running away from it, because it'll kind of just always be there lingering if you don't face it. I do understand like the desire to bypass it, because sometimes we feel like we're not strong enough to face it, but eventually it's going to have to come up, is what your higher self is saying. So if you don't feel like you're strong enough to face it now, then that's fine, but eventually you're going to have to gather up the strength to face it. If you just plan on not facing it indefinitely, that's not a good idea, because again, it's just going to stay locked within you. Hold on more. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, for some of you, I'm hearing that the reason that you're bypassing this, not only because it's painful, but because if you do have to take a look at it, you will then have to let go of something that you are attached to. If you were to kind of face whatever is going on within you, like you're going to have to let go of something and you don't want to. I'm trying to see a good example here just to illustrate my point. Like, let's say you're in a connection, right? And you know the connection is no good for you, and it's disturbing your peace, it's disturbing your peace of mind, but you're overlooking it. Like you're trying to run away from those thoughts that say this isn't, that like this ain't it, like this ain't, this connection is not the one for you. You're trying to run away from those thoughts and not think about it and escape past them. Because if you were to sit and acknowledge those feelings and those thoughts, then you would have to let your relationship go. And that's just an example. Like, that could actually apply to some of you, but that's just an overall example. This could be anything. So just take it and apply it to your life. But you're needing to sit and face the truth is basically it. No matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how painful it is, whatever it is that's disturbing your peace, you're needing to face it and not try to escape it and run past it. Even if it means having to let a person go or let a certain aspect of yourself go. Like maybe there's a certain patterns or traits within you that you would have to let go of, certain dreams or certain hopes that you may have to let go of. You know, and I've said this in a lot of videos. I feel like when you have a dream or a desire, it's implanted in your heart by the universe so that you have to go towards it, or so that you are guaranteed to be able to manifest it. So I'm not talking about those types of dreams and hopes. I'm talking about like dreams and hopes that were kind of faulty to begin with, that didn't come from your highest good. It's like things that you thought that you wanted in the moment because they felt good to you in the moment, or maybe you were coming from a wounded place and you thought you wanted them. And it's like these, whatever this thing is or these things are, they have caused you to, it's like disrupted your peace. And so you have to then face that fact and then be able to let them go. I really hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. Having to face the truth instead of escaping it, it'll be painful and you'll have to let something go. Okay, see the next two cards. We have the understanding card and we have the burden card in the reverse. So, I'm hearing another message. For some of you, you're not wanting to face the emotions or the thoughts because then you would have to admit that you were wrong about something. And you don't want to have to admit that. Okay. So, and your higher self wants you to know that there's no shame in being wrong. And so if that's something that's holding you back from facing your truth, your higher self wants you to know that you're human and that there's no shame in that. And that you actually should applaud yourself for even taking the time to be self-aware and to look within. And your higher self also wants you to know that those feelings and emotions that you're running from, they won't kill you, even though you might think that they will because you don't want to face them. They won't kill you, and actually acknowledging them and sitting with them will actually restore your peace of mind. You're trying to find peace through escapism, through skating past it, right? But you're not going to find peace that way. You're going to find the opposite. The way you actually find peace is not running from it, but by sitting in it and facing it. So the understanding card is here and the burden card. So with the understanding card being here, I feel like this is talking about giving yourself compassion. And giving yourself compassion means listening to yourself. Like if a friend comes to you and is heartbroken or devastated about something, they want your listening ear. You know, you wouldn't try to run from them. Like picture like in your mind, your friend coming to you and saying like, I'm heartbroken right now. And you're like, oh God, I don't want to deal with this. And you just get up and walk out on them. It's kind of like you do that to yourself. Like whenever you do the escapist route. And so it's basically saying to give yourself, you know, self-compassion and to like this opportunity or whatever it is that you're running from inside is actually a great opportunity for you to connect to yourself and get to know yourself on a deeper level. And to stop seeing yourself as like basically it's saying to not see your emotions as like a burden. Whatever emotional turmoil you're having that you don't want to face, you're seeing it as a burden. And it's basically saying to not see it as a burden. To see it as an opportunity to connect with yourself and to get to know yourself on a deeper level is what I'm seeing. Like think about people who you are deeply connected to. A lot of, you know, the people in our lives who we feel the closest to, the moments that we were vulnerable with them are the moments that really, really binded us together, you know, really, really caused us to have that strong bond. It's the same thing with yourself. When you have something very uncomfortable going on with you emotionally, that's an opportunity to have a very intimate moment with yourself and to kind of bond with yourself very deeply. But that can't happen if you are afraid to go within or you're trying to bypass, you know, whatever feelings or emotions that you have. You know, I'm just going to go back to the example of what I was saying about, you know, when you get out of a relationship, you have the urge to rush into a new one, right? Because you don't want to face the pain of, you know, the heartbreak. Also, you don't want to admit to yourself fully that it's over, or you don't want to fully admit to yourself that, you know, maybe you played a role in the breakup, or maybe you don't want to face the truth about, you know, your ex, that they actually were like a very terrible person or a horrible choice for you. You don't want to face that you were wrong about them. You don't want to face who they truly are as a person, because then you have to let them go permanently. It's like that sort of energy. And instead of jumping into that new relationship as a rebound to run from those uncomfortable things, maybe this will be an opportunity for you to to form a very intimate bond with yourself, is what I'm seeing. Yep, the Hangman card being here in reverse. I see that as like the card of spiritual enlightenment, like seeing things from a higher perspective by connecting with your own emotions, being able to obtain a lot of wisdom by connecting through your emotions. And through gaining wisdom and seeing the higher perspective of it, you gain peace. You don't gain peace through escapism. You gain distraction temporarily through escapism, but that's pretty much it. And when you're doing this, when you're sitting with your emotions and trying to understand yourself and having that bonding moment with yourself, be very careful of this Queen of Swords energy that comes out. The Queen of Swords energy is like this very logical energy that is basically detrimental. It's not helping anyone. It's like that voice that is kind of like, okay, well, it happened, so move on. Like that type of like cold voice that some of us have, like that cold inner voice that some of us have, like, you're still crying over this, like, just get over it. Like, why am I still thinking about this? I just need to get over it. Like, dismissing your own feelings. Be very careful of that type of energy. As of right now, that energy is an enemy of progress. Like, you're needing to be more emotionally present with yourself. You don't need like this cut and dry, I just need to get over this, or try to bypass it with logic. Like, okay, logically I understand what happened, so I don't need to feel this way. That's not going to help you as of now. You need to sit with your emotions and to overcome it by feeling, instead of trying to think it away, explain it away, or to kind of like tell yourself, okay, no, get over it. You know what I'm saying? This is also like ego. I've talked about this on Twitter before, where like, let's say you have a breakup and the other person doesn't care, like they've moved on like this and they don't care. It can be very tempting to say like, well, if they don't care, I don't care, so I'm just going to bypass my emotions. That's a mistake, because just because they don't care or they might have moved on more quickly, that doesn't mean that you dishonor your emotions by escaping from them or not acknowledging them. You know, because then you're doing to yourself the same thing that other person did to you. And again, this doesn't have to be romantic. Like I said, I'm just using romance as an example because people seem to understand those examples the best. But you could just take it and apply it to your life. You know, this could be like you got fired from a job. And you know logically, like, okay, I understand. It's not personal. But you're still hurt. So you still need to sit with that hurt. You can't just logically bypass it. You know? Okay. So let's see. Oh, I'm also hearing your higher self wants you to know that, okay, your higher self wants to discourage you from jumping into something else right away, because then you're not taking the time out to figure out what it is that you actually learned from that past situation, and you're not taking the time out to figure out what you actually want and don't want. When you're trying to just move on very quickly, sometimes you end up moving into the exact same situation that you just got out of. Doesn't have to be romantic. It can be a friendship. Like you had this group of friends who like betrayed you, and then you don't want to deal with the emotional pain of it all, so you're just like, I'll just go and make a new group of friends without really addressing what happened, or without acknowledging the feeling around what happened, and then you might run smack dab into a new group of friends who put you through something very similar. You see what I'm saying? Because there may be a pattern within you that is drawn towards certain types of people or certain situations, and if you bypass your emotions very quickly, you'll never be able to see that pattern, and so you'll keep on going in circles, and you'll keep running into the same person over and over again, is what I'm seeing. The main male card is here also, and the despair card. So the despair card being here in reverse, yeah, some of you are really not trying to face any type of hard feeling or harsh feelings that's inside of you, which is completely understandable. No one wants to feel grief and despair. Like, no one wants to deal with that. And the despair card, what I am drawn to is like the dog that's in the card. So I'm hearing that for some of you, if you have a hard time processing these emotions on your own, maybe find someone who is reliable to process them with, whether it be like a friend or whether it be like a counselor. Like, that's something that could help you if you are having a hard time accessing these emotions, is what I'm seeing. But the last thing you want to do is take on the energy of just suppression and escapism. That's not what you want to do, because it's going to stifle, like I said, it'll really stifle your growth. It'll have you basically running into the same situation over and over again. And it's hard to be self-aware or to gain self-awareness if you continue on this path of wanting to just escape. And again, a repeat message, it's like your higher self really wants you to know, if you have a hard time accessing these emotions because they're too painful, you might need like people to help you access them in a safe space so that you can work through them slowly but surely. So maybe therapy, maybe counseling, joining online groups. I've mentioned before, like even my YouTube comment section, people often relate to people in there, and like they basically uplift each other. Let me see what else your higher self wants you to know. Ooh, the Master card, Celebration card, Lovers card. Ooh, okay. So the Master card coming out, your higher self wants you to know that there's a lot of wisdom that can be gained through your emotions. You very well could be the type of person that gains wisdom through like logically thinking things through. Maybe like you like to read or you like to do research. Like you gain a lot of wisdom in those ways, but you obtain a whole different well of knowledge through your emotions and actually forming an intimate bond with yourself. Because you won't just obtain wisdom, like general overall knowledge and wisdom. You'll obtain the most important type of wisdom, which is learning yourself fully. Because when you truly know yourself and you learn yourself and study yourself and you're very close with yourself, it'll cause you to show up in the world much differently, and it'll cause you to create your life or like take certain actions in your life. It'll basically cause you to take those actions in a way that are very different than how you originally been taking them. I really hope that makes sense. It's like you can go online and look up, how to build a solid career for myself, or like how to build like financial abundance, right? You can go online and look that up, and then you can obtain the knowledge through the article or through the video that you watch about it. But it's a whole nother thing when you actually sit and bond with yourself and ask yourself, like, what would make me happy in terms of building abundance? Like, what are my gifts? What are my strengths? It's like an article can't tell you that. You see, only you bonding with your emotion and bonding with your heart space can tell you that truly. So that's what I mean when I say like there's a well of knowledge inside of you and wisdom inside of you that's waiting to be obtained through connecting to your emotions instead of trying to bypass the uncomfortable ones, instead of trying to use the escapist route so that you don't have to feel uncomfortable feelings. Trying to see if there's anything else that's coming through. Let's pull one more. I feel like that may be it. I'm going to pull one more just to be sure. Oh, I'm hearing that some of you are feeling drained. If you're feeling drained, it's because you're not facing your emotions. I know, very strange. You would think that facing whatever discomfort that you have inside of you would be draining, but no, running from it takes a lot more energy, is what I'm hearing. So if some of you feel drained, sluggish, it's because you're running. You're mentally and emotionally running. The escapist routes that you are taking actually are draining you. And so you're being advised and asked to, like I said, face them head on and start doing the work to transmute them. And until then, it's going to be very difficult for you to, find that peace of mind and find, that harmony. So I hope that was helpful. That is it. If you were drawn to any other pile, feel free to watch those as well. And if not, I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye.